Your evidence on who you think did it. After a good amount of time pass your opposite your vote on who you think the blackened is. If you guess right, the blackened will be executed and all you get in your life. If you guess wrong, everyone dies except the black, and they get to leave this mansion. Can we just get this on with already?
Fine then. Spoil the moment. I'm trying to make this suspenseful and you're just being ungrateful.
Well, the point thing is I don't care anymore.
Alrighty then. Right now, the fourth mansion trial commences!
This case, more than the rest, seems to be a bit more complicated than I could say it has any normal right to be. I mean, there's so many factors in order to take in about the entire crime scene, so this is gonna be a lot harder than it looks. In fact, I'm not at all thinking it's all hard, because you and Zelda are probably the culprits of the case. Going back to this game again? Just blaming us for no reason? Here's the truth still. We all have a good reason to, well, not be the killers. Why did you keep on accusing us? Oh, and none of you all act like that still. You're not innocent either, Nico. You were there at the crime scene and you are still refusing to speak up for yourself. In fact, why on earth even should I say? What's Nico? What are you saying? Yeah, I'm the one who normally needs to put this all together, but I lost a person who I believed I could trust me. And lo and behold, they're in this room. I believe I only trust a few more people left. I do not know what to say anymore. He definitely seems to be affected, but Whisper ain't gonna continue out. But he's just gonna continue trying to think that those four are guilty. Even though I know that there's evidence to prove it. And I'm gonna have to show it to him. But listen! The four of us cannot be considered to be the killer. Yeah, I would like to agree with him. And plus, wouldn't that make only one would survive? In fact, I could say it's honestly a bit simple. Some will knock them out, and one of them is the actual guilty party. Is that your point at all? It doesn't at all make sense, though. I know deep down that they are innocent. That still kind of doesn't make sense. Would it be that we were actually not knocked out? No, that's wrong! Naturally, still, I believe there actually was a way for you all to, was the way for you to be knocked out. Tell me, do you guys remember anything? Not much, no. Yeah, definitely not. Sort of, but actually no. So the rest of you may not remember, but there's only one person that does. Zelda. Do you mind explaining everything to everyone? Yeah, of course. Yeah, the thing I remember was, I was upstairs, and then I felt some electrical shock. It felt like I was actually being tased. Tased? Wait a sec. That could be it, though. I barely remember, but I remember feeling something staticky like. It was very... Ugh. I do not know what to say. Yep, I think I remember that electrical pain being in until I passed out. So, in fact, all of you were actually tased. And that's what caused everything to happen. You do not remember because of it. You were all replaced there because probably the culprit put you there when you were knocked out. Okay, well that definitely does seem reasonable, but what about the crime scene itself? What was the cause of what happened to Sans, though? How would you know that, Miss Smarty Girl? Hey, in case you were trying to work on some kind of insult, I do not think that mainly worked. I remember my pretty well. It was blunt force trauma that killed Sans, but he's ultimately asking how it happened, so I have to prove it. What's the cause that made Sans have blunt force trauma and then made him turn to dust? This is ultimately definitely one that is very puzzling me myself. You take a look. Probably something like a hammer definitely might have caused it. Hey, this may seem a bit weird, but I think it's a way similar to the third case, where a doorknob might have been the cause. Okay, that definitely does seem to be big, but what if in case if he was hanged up, then was dropped? I agree with that. That was indeed true. By the tide rope that was shown directly in the crime scene. Wait, by his own knowing that he was hanged up by the culprit in some way, but how was someone able to reach him? I mean, for one person, I can honestly see that, but trying to frame others without getting caught as well is a big deal. Yup, I can still confirm that the tide rope was there. It's ultimately a lot harder than it looks. There must be some piece that we are missing. What does he mean? It isn't some piece. It was somebody. Look, this may seem a bit outrageous of what I'm gonna say, but there is an accomplice in this case. Bow to royalty! Zelda? What are you doing? Listen, Snivy, I don't want to argue against you, but this definitely seems a bit too far in the silence of expectations. I ultimately feel like that this is the wrong way for us to go. Part of me knows you don't fully disagree, but I feel like I have to support evidence to you. I hope you will understand. Look, I ain't arguing against you out of like in order to defend someone else. I'm just doing it in order to see in case the evidence that you have actually proves it. Alrighty, then I have to do it with one way or another. Under every single circumstance, accomplices do not seem to line up with everything. I mean, if we now look, we were all mostly together. Us, the unconscious people, were together there. The people who are upstairs were together. And you were with them until you came down. Someone actually working with the culprit, and without much of a, outsticking alibi, does not work. I understand. It kind of does make a bit of sense. But listen to me. In order for this case, in order to work like this, you're gonna have to trust me in what I'm willing to say. I understand that. But still, when Body Discovery announcement went off, Citron, Sally, and Whisper were together. In case of anything, there's no way that they would have even as well made it past the walls. The walls. That's it. I think I know what you're trying to say, and it's what this evidence proves against it. I kind of expect that to come. I'll cut your words. I hope you understand. And the wall crumbles further proof that might have been a group effort. Wall crumbles? Care to explain a bit, because I'm a bit lost. Sally basically found was little wall pieces that seemed to come from the hallway entrance from upstairs to the kitchen and living room. And lo and behold, those pieces came from that ceiling. In case we're not looking at it, those pieces fell, and what basically caused those pieces to be there. I actually do not think there actually is an accomplice in this at all. In case we now look, after all, something as complicated as this has happened before. Remember him, Mittens? He performed every single thing that happened in that case by himself. So someone doing all of this doesn't seem to be out of the picture. I'm sorry, Nico, but I have to disagree with you on that. This definitely seems a bit more complicated and definitely seems to require two people. I'm in agreement with the kid, honestly. All seems out of. Well, I'm with Snivy on that statement because I believe everything. I guess we don't have much of a choice anyway. Mono Bowser, it appears our opinions are once again split down the middle.
Yes, but the Scrumnabay people is Scrumnabay. You don't know what is gonna appear. It's split. The Scrumnabay. Now it's time for you to argue.
Wow. If there was something that cringe I've never seen in my life, it was that.
You Debbie Downer, you do not understand talent. Anyway, it's time once again for the phenomenal trial grounds.
Everyone to believe me, I'm gonna have to get this to work. It's the only way I'm gonna be able to do this. Ivy, are you confident that there is an accomplice here? Allow me to handle it.
Concerning everything of what has happened, there's no way at all that this going can be made by one single person. Concerning everything that has happened, there's no way that the wall could have been lifted by only two people. Perhaps it had to be one person. Zelda! The weight of the wall does not matter. What matters is now that the existence of it does probably count to that. The wall might have gone in the way, but with two people, it makes the most sense that there would be two people.
Think about it. Mittens further proves that the existence of one person committing such a huge crime is possible. Luigi.
Oh, none of that further proves to a past case. In case if it could happen, but not before, it could happen now.
We further agreed on one thing. Accomplices won't get anything out of it. Taranza.
The accomplice worked it in some different way. There's no way at all that this can only go in one direction. What if it went into some other direction that we do not know about?
Certain the facts, everything about an accomplice has to be alive. It makes sense.
Zelda, everything we have proved up to this point does not make up for the fact that accomplices can happen, and that they are hiding something that we do not know. Everything that we say is not a lie.
It's the thing still. There's no specific evidence that further proves the existence of an accomplice. Handle this to me.
And the proof is, there is some evidence that I know about. And I am ready to discuss it right here, right now.
This is our answer.
I know, as much as I do not want to admit it, but there is someone in this place who is an accomplice. As much as we all like to disagree that someone would do that.
Yeah. We think over everything. Everyone has a reasonable thing for an alibi. And who is the accomplice?
Piece of evidence that may point us on who the accomplice is that's it. During the investigation, Zelda and I found the cookie crumbles, mainly Oreos, right next to her.
Oreo crumbs? But why does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I can admit to that, but doesn't that seem a bit out of place, though?
No.
It isn't. In fact, pointer to probably the biggest piece of evidence, which is I know who the accomplice is. I do not know if I should tell you all because I do not know what to say. Wait, who is it? Who is it? A part of me tells me I don't need to do this, but I have to deep inside. The accomplice is it has to be you. Mind telling us the reason why you joined the culprit? Nico!
Wait. What? Sally, what do you mean?
Still, there's no way that Nico at all is the accomplice!
I agree with with Luigi. And this isn't my bias because we all appreciate Nico and how he is as a person. It just seems very out of place. He was with the unconscious group. He remembers being tased. How is this possible?
And very important, the Yoshi metabolism system. On how Nico always needs to have a bit of energy. That's why he always has a snack before dinner.
Oh, wait. Nico, please, don't tell me it's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. You motherfucker! I thought I could trust you. You helped me, and then you do this BS. Why did you do this? You all can hear me, but I have to tell you the truth. I am not an accomplice of the culprit, but rather an accomplice of the victim, Sans.
What? Accomplice to the victim? What do you mean?
I'll explain everything. In simple terms here Sans had an idea. He came to my room later today in order to discuss something. He had a plan in order to fake his own death and then try to search the area to find the important evidence to figure out who the mastermind is. Wait, hold on. Sans came up with this whole idea? He did it to save us. Stop the mastermind and save the rest of us and get out of this killing game. What else did he say? Did he had anything important? Yes. He came up with the idea of the crime scene. He came up with the idea on how he was going to get through the wall. In other terms, I will explain it. He used his own magic that he chose to keep hidden from us and used it to open the wall. He has magic? How are we only hearing of this? What he wanted to say is that he wanted to keep it a secret from us. He chose to keep quiet of it in order to protect us. And the idea, in order to make me look like the culprit, is his. In case, he also said this. In case if the others want to blame you, they can choose to blame me. Don't try to put it on yourself. He died by someone else, you're saying? Damn it! You know, taking all of this on, the victim should have been me. Taranza, what are you saying? Saying that I should have been the one who died. Sans, someone who is very important, someone who wants to help all of you, died for no reason. And I'm struggling with words because I feel like I should be, because I'm the least important.
Taranza, you helped us out with so much. You helped us guide through the entire trial. You're the one who helped did Nico go and a few others when the time was right.
That is true, but look at all of you here. Even the people who are dead. You all have talents, purposes, and more importantly, your own special lives. Me? Sure, you can call me out for those things, but I'm just a talentless nobody who only has a group of friends, and after all, I do not know if they're alive or dead, so I don't know my purpose. You have a purpose here, and it's with us. You're going to help us escape this killing game and get us through this trial. It doesn't matter what you say. You're unimportant. You hear me? I don't know what to say. Listen, you do not need to say anything. I've been put through a lot, and I am not going to let someone else think this way because of the way that this killing game has affected them. I know. That's not how I felt. No, I don't know. Is that Ike and my brother would want me to do this. And I am going to keep that promise. Yeah, here's the thing. The rest, I do not remember still. But I distinctly remember that it was someone who wasn't there. I remember him dragging in Luigi, Zelda, and Taranza. That's all I remember. Someone? Then, in case Snipey triggered the body discovery announcement, then what does that mean? It means one thing. The person who could be considered the culprit is... they're the ones. The idea on who the culprits could be are Sally, Whisper, and Citron. But we do have alibis, but I'm not fully confident if it's one of you here. But after all, the evidence makes sense. Here, after all, Nico did see someone. He just doesn't remember who was from upstairs. Much Snivy, I feel like us pinpointing on who it could be the culprit. I feel like we should focus more on the crime scene. After all, how did the sounds got loose though? Maybe in case the rope could have been cut, there must be something that might have held him up in order to make it happen, right? That held him up. That evidence was. I could prove it with this. Hook found it right next to his jacket and a rope. That thing holding him up, and I believe it fell down during the fall. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the biggest thing. The little details in this trial are ultimately what's helping us. I didn't feel like there's something else. This big piece that is honestly a huge question mark. Piece that is a question mark. It makes me question this though. What in case there's something more to this case? What if there's something else? I had to prove it, one way or another. So, what other main piece of evidence we haven't not talked about yet? Well, there sure was a lot. Maybe perhaps there's something that's so big that we are clearly missing it. The truth is that I highly doubt that is a possibility. In case if I do look at it, there's nothing that mainly stands to be out of place. No! That's wrong! Citron, there totally was something out of place, and it was a mysterious template that Taranza found. What do you mean by mysterious template? What does that have to do with anything? Yeah, in fact, yes, I can clarify. I found it, and it was hugely open with it. It had a large sphere, like, hallucinal thing in the middle. It seemed very weird. Maybe it's something like hypnotism or something. Oh. Are you implying that there's something else to this? Then what is it? Everything I knew. The hidden information we kept. Until I figured it out. I know exactly what it is. What even is it still? I have something to tell to you all. It was basically a secret that me, Nico, and Taranza have hidden for you all from your own good. So you said you've hidden something from us? Sorry for keeping it a secret to you all, but the main thing is the ultimate manipulator.